Hello, everybody. I needed to come in real quick. I actually didn't expect this today, but all the best, man. All the best research is where it's at. I don't know who else may have already found this, but I can tell you who sent it to me, and that was part of the All the Best team. So I'm going to, hello, Bruce. I hope you are doing well today. I'm going to go ahead and get right into it. I know that a lot of people will be watching this on replay crew because it was very short notice, and I'm surprised I'm actually ready for it. So there's that. But it was very short notice, and I'm surprised I'm actually ready for it. Okay, sorry about that. I was listening to myself. Okay. Oh, hello, Jen. Hello, Julie. Hello, Mary Smith and Cheebs and Fletcher Boy. Yay, got the notification. I'm glad because, like I said, it was super quick. Okay, so I don't even know how to like jump into it, so I guess I just will. Let me share my screen real quick to here and show you guys what came up today. So I'm assuming everybody can see this. I have to split it off so I can see better. So bear with me here. Let me minimize real quick. Let me just, sorry. Okay. I will get better at this. I swear I will get better at this, guys. So yeah, the Airbnb is in trouble, guys. Shocker, right? I don't think I'm actually surprised by it. However, okay. I'm gonna get irritated real fast here because all of a sudden my speakers are working when they weren't working yesterday when I was on with Patrick, and that was super annoying, and I didn't mean to show that screen, so go away, thank you. Okay. This is probably why I shouldn't go live all of a sudden. Come on. Go away. One more time, fellas. Share screen. Share. It's not even the document I wanted to share. Okay. We're going to breathe and start over. And I'm going to show you exactly what I wanted to show you, which is, one moment, a notice of forfeiture was filed on the Airbnb today. That's the gist of this stream. And again, not shocking breaking news, but definitely interesting. The document was just recorded, I want to say today or yesterday. And yeah, it shows some interesting information. So let's get back into it. Let's go stop and then share screen and back to it. Share. Here we go. Okay. So what does that mean, Bruce? This is it, right? We keep seeing this spiral, and it's just continuing from here. So this is similar to a notice of foreclosure. Okay. Are you guys getting feedback? I am, but I don't know why. So I apologize if you are. I'm not trying to cause an issue. But so real quick to answer the nope. They don't have, I don't believe, actual equity in this property. They could, but if they do, they'll lose it. And then Bruce, I'm gonna try. Okay. I tend to get above the clouds, but I'm going to try to avoid that right now. So yeah, they are losing the Airbnb. Well, let's put it this way: they have a short amount of time to come up with some money before they do lose the Airbnb. So with the same thing happened just now that happened yesterday. Oh my God, I'm going to lose it. My little, go away, Microsoft. Oh my gosh. Why me right now? Why? I need to figure out how to turn this thing off. Go away. Ah. Okay. So let's get back to it, right? Where did that $450,000 go? Could have used that in the last 18 months for sure. Okay, so let's back up a second. Let's actually back up a second and talk about how this property was purchased, right? And then I can lead up to what is happening now, because I think that might be important for anybody who has not seen the other, the way the property was purchased. So let me go back a second here. I'm going to stop screen. I'm going to share screen. I'm going to go back to the agreement. Okay. So this is the agreement, the purchase agreement for this property. This is not a typical purchase agreement. This is an agreement where I'm not able to get a mortgage if I'm the buyer, right? And I'm not able to get a mortgage. I'm instead going to promise to eventually buy this house from you. But in the meantime, so that you don't sell it to anybody else, I'm going to set up a purchase structure, right? And payments, monthly payments, so that by the end of the time period, which I say I will buy this house within 5 years, let's say, which this what this one says, I'll buy this house within 5 years. So by the end of the 5 years, I will have given you all of the money that I owe you on this house, whether I have to then mortgage it because I'm eligible at that time or whatever the case, right? So this was done after the transactions with Clayton, the purchase agreements that she submitted with Clayton, which again, I believe the proof of funds was not legitimate, but those agreements were, whatever, not effectuated. They didn't occur for reasons, right? Not for no reason, for reasons they didn't occur. The scheme, let's call it a scheme because that's what the charge is, right? To proceed as if we are real estate investor continued, and this company who had the Airbnb, the current Airbnb house for sale, did have the type of agreement that we see here, the ability for a purchaser to come in and say, yeah, I don't have all the money now, but I'll pay it over time, and I promise I'm good for it, at the end of 5 years. And if at the end of 5 years I'm not good for it, you get the house back, right? Win-win for the seller in this case, because they get all their expenses and costs paid for over time. So this happened pretty quickly. The agreement was entered into at the end of August in 2023. So there's a lot going on in August of 23 with Greg and Clayton and Airbnb stuff. So anyway, we see this agreement to purchase, and it's saying that, Feel Home Properties agrees to sell to Lizmax Investments. Again, this is a public document available for free on the internet at Maricopa County, so it is not does not include any non-public information. The purchase price was $795,000. The earnest money deposit, meaning the money you put up when you offer on the property, it was $7,950. There was an additional down payment of $64,500, and the math doesn't work on this, which is going to make my brain itch. But they're saying that the final amount on the contract to make payments on was was $715,500. So I do not recommend listening to my voice on any kind of speed other than normal, maybe even slow. I have that Fran Drescher nasally voice, and it's definitely not a good thing on a double speed setting. So, yeah. So we've got this agreement, right? And let me get back to my view of it. So we've got a purchase price of, or a contract price of $715,000, $715,500. And we've got a regular monthly payment of $4,062 due on the first of every month. Um, the interest is at the rate of interest is 5.5%, and the payments began September 1st, 2023, which is weird because typically you pay interest backwards on your mortgage. So like when you close on a mortgage at the end of August, your next payment would be due October 1st, actually, because you would have paid 10 days worth of interest at closing. And then when you make your October payment, September's interest is paid. So, but you would see that kind of error happen in this type of sale because they don't know any better. And so at the same time of the $4,062.53, they have to pay the taxes, which is 1/12 of the, every month they have to pay 1/12 of the taxes. And then they have to pay homeowners insurance. Okay. So that's all part of like an escrow account that you would have on a mortgage. So yeah, the final payment would be due October 1st, 2028, meaning the entire unpaid principal. I don't know how well you guys can see that here. Let's see if I can't upsize it. The entire unpaid principal shall be due and payable on or before October 1st, 2028. So, yeah, and then it just goes into some of the terms like, what happens when they escalate. And there's also an addendum on here because there's a superseding mortgage on the property. So they actually don't even have much of an equitable interest in this property, but that's the basic gist of the rest of the document. And how important it is to pay those payments on time because the seller owes money to a mortgage company and has to make those payments on time, right? So that's, and then they attached this document twice by accident. So that's the gist of the sale, right? It's kind of like I said, it's a promise. It is recorded, but the interest in the property is really subject to senior interest, which would be the seller's interest and the seller's mortgage company's interest. The seller's mortgage company also has fixture liens on the property. They have an interest in all of the rental income as well as all of the furniture and fixtures in the property. So that's the agreement, right? And then we fast forward to, I'm going to go back and share this page. So then we fast forward to this document. There we go. That's better. Oh, sorry. 1 second here. And we have a notice of election to forfeit. So in that agreement was a forfeiture clause, which there would be for non-payment, right? And it references the mortgage or the agreement that was recorded and the property that it covers. Again, this is a public document available on for free on the Maricopa County Register of Deeds Office website. So we see here that there's no personal property included because they didn't actually have an interest in the personal property, right? So the contract says that the parties have failed to pay monies due under the agreement for a period of time in excess of that provided by Arizona Revised Statutes, Section 33742, subsection D, which I'm just going to do the math on it rather than looking that up, and is now having his interest under the agreement and contract forfeited. The monies due under the contract, which are required to be paid to reinstate the contract, are as follows. So that's an important part right here. If they come up with the money that they need, this total here, 26,963.15 by December 23rd, they will have redeemed this forfeiture action, right? Meaning they'll be able to reset. I don't see that happening, especially if they are behind, because we know the money's all intertwined, right? And if they're behind on their bankruptcy proceedings, they'd be hard pressed to come up with the money to pay this and justify it. So we'll see. We'll see about that. So let's talk about those monthly payments. I'm going to grab my calculator real quick here. And let's see. So 4,062.15. So 24,410.15 divided by 4,062. It's about 6 months. It might be actually less than that. So let's say 5 months past due, because this amount, this 24,410, may include taxes and insurance. So I'm not 100% sure about that because we don't know. It doesn't specify, and I just don't know if that's the case or not. Okay, why did my calculator go gigantic? Okay, so we've got $24,410.15. Oh, actually, we know that late fee is $150, don't we? So let's do this real quick, because I'm not a mather, believe it or not. I'm a column mather. I don't do other kinds of math. 5 months. They are 5 months behind on this. So that's not surprising. Again, Jan told us at the bankruptcy meeting that the Airbnb is not making money. So I think this probably has to happen to prove that. And this isn't the worst thing, really. Honestly, this is really this. They cannot keep this house because it's not viable for them. It's just financially, it's not viable for them. Real quick, is there a personal guarantee on this? Do we know? We don't know. It is LLC. Again, the Owens do tend to commingle, and that's. Oh, I'm sorry, I got to read these comments out loud. The question is there a personal guarantee on this? Do we know? Or is it a corporate LLC obligated only? I can't see because I'm on my phone. Yeah, so we don't know for sure, but there would be no reason to collect personally as long as the property is forfeited. Like, it's just the same as long as the property is forfeited and they get it back. There's no need for it. Yeah, Jen asks, should this have been listed on the bankruptcy forms? Yes. We've seen a lot of things that should have been listed on the bankruptcy forms in regards to the LLCs and the way that they're managed. They definitely should have been listed. So, yeah, it should have been. Okay. So, yeah, the LLC, the question is, should be able to see who the LLC is registered to. It was Laura and Jan. Now it's just Jan. That was switched earlier this year. Or last year. I can't remember. The years on this case, wow, run together fast. So let's go back to, we've got late payments, late fees of $750, a $500 forfeiture fee, a $100 strict performance fee. I'm sure that there are agreements that are not recorded and that these fees are itemized in that agreement, and there would be no reason to question these. I just don't have them. I don't have that agreement specifically available. $1,020 for a forfeiture guarantee report, and that's a lot for a forfeiture guarantee report. But it's a title search, basically, is what it is. But it definitely would have found that. It would have found that. Oh, this is interesting. So a forfeiture guarantee report may have found, I shouldn't say would have, may have found that lien that Clayton has against Laura. It's possible. If I were doing a title search, I would have pulled it because I look up individual names too. Recording fees and certified mail. Anyway, the total is $26,963.15. So, yeah, the all of this money must be paid with a cashier's check or wire to Pioneer Title Agency, who is the current servicer of this account. and it gives the address of where it must be paid. These are basically legal disclosures. You have to provide legal information on how to cure the debt, right? Figures do change. Okay, so figures are subject to change, and please call for an update. So this is just what they had as of the day. This 26,963.15 was just what was available as of the day this document was prepared. It could be that there's more money owing in the meantime, so you always get a payoff first before you send this kind of payment in. And then if the monies due under the contract are not received by 4 p.m. on December 23rd, of being at least 20 days after the serving of this notice, the interest of the purchaser and all persons who have an interest or a lien or encumbrance in the property, the priority of which is subordinate, meaning lesser than that of the seller, shall be forfeited. And that it's also telling them that no other notice will be given if the default is not cured within the time specified, meaning they don't they're not going to like, are you really, really sure? They're not going to ask those kinds of questions. Bruce says, guys, I'm starting to think that the Owens family is not good at making financial decisions. It's looking that way, right? The evidence. And we just have signatures and probably just the legal description on the last page. Yeah, just signatures and notary stuff, blah, boring stuff. We don't want to out everybody on the document. But yeah, so that's it. We have a sorry, Wendy, this happened super fast. But we have a forfeiture that's happening on the Airbnb. It's basically a foreclosure. It's called forfeit because it's not a mortgage, so it's worded differently. Yeah, this is the question, right? So Jill says, so what the hell did they do with the 135,000 from the GoFundMe, because they haven't paid any of their creditors, right? That's a great question. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it could be that some of it's hidden. I think they do have some money. Not, I shouldn't say hidden. They have some, well, hidden maybe even the right word, but they have some money. Somewhere, right? I don't think it's enough to sustain them for a very long time because they won't change their habits, clearly. We've seen that over time since the, 1992 at least. Yeah, on the Airbnb. So Wendy asks, foreclose on what property? It's the Airbnb, the Liz Max Airbnb is being, here, I'll go down to the money numbers. We've got 5 months of past due payments. As of, this was December 3rd, I think, is the date. It's not really dated, I guess. Just gives the final date. But yeah, it's 5 months of payments. So they probably waited until that December payment came on, but or came into play. But they sorry. They haven't been paying for a while. So what's that? December, November, October, September, August. Oh, since the bankruptcy. That's again not shocking. And if it's not making money again, I don't think this is the worst. I do not believe this is the worst news for them. It actually won't have a hit to your credit, right? You're going to lose money. But I mean, you guys, they've lost money over and over and over again. They've lost way more money than this in the past. So I don't see that, being a factor really. Oh, okay. So here's a question. Do they get 6 months redemption? No. First of all, I was talking last night at the end, and I think you had left already, but that stream went way longer than I expected. But they Arizona actually doesn't have a redemption period for a foreclosure. A forfeiture is even less. You have less rights in a forfeiture. The forfeiture has 20 days, and it's just called. There's no official sale at the courthouse. Like, it's just, okay, you didn't complete this contract that we had. And because you didn't complete this contract under the terms that we agreed to, you we're nullifying the contract. So I think that yeah, some states do. Okay, so she said, okay, some states do. Yes, correct. Like in Michigan, we have 6 month redemption period. Many states have redemption periods, but some don't. Texas doesn't. Arizona doesn't, and others, I'm sure. But yeah, I think that they went a little more strict with the time frame here because I think they could have probably filed this sooner, but they were probably playing it safe, and that's fine, you know. And who knows? Um, maybe they were being fed a line. Who knows? Oops. Question mark. Uh, or question mark. Question from BS. But they won't get any money or equity from this property, right? Correct. So if this forfeiture goes through, they lose anything that they've already paid, and I can. There are some. I think in that agreement it basically says that, but that would be the circumstance in any kind of rent to own. Basically, is what this is a rent to own agreement. You would lose anything that you paid for it. And so yeah, between the down payment and the money payments, they burned like 200,000 on their Airbnb for nothing. Yeah, yeah, but again, I mean, they've burned much more, much quicker, in my opinion. This hung on a lot longer than I expected. I thought for sure it was dead in the water last year. So yeah, they couldn't have. So the question is, good Lord, I hope they didn't borrow any other money against this property. They couldn't have it. They don't own it. So they just have an interest in it. So you can't borrow against property you don't own, right? You can't, like, if you're leasing a car, you can't get a car loan on it. Does that make sense? Um, so they can't get any kind of loan against this property. They don't own it. They just have an interest. And yeah, Alta Sourdine says, all the show Clayton, she could do it. I bet anything that's what this was about. Yeah. So actually, two comments that kind of go together here. She owes Clayton $200,000. She lost $200,000 on this house. That money could have gone to Clayton. It could have been done. But coulda, woulda, shoulda. Airbnb are turning into scams these days. There's a lot of weird stuff going on in our market right now with real estate, and I don't disagree with that. There's yeah, it's really super weird the way these properties are being sold under creative terms. I don't know that it's necessarily good for everybody. So yeah, I don't want to make this too much longer than I planned on, but I did want to go over this again. Breaking but not shocking news. and and again, uh Cat Lady and I talked about this a long time ago. I really expected the this to go away sooner. I did, at least. Um, so it's surprising it hung on this long, but I think that just shows the way they were able to manipulate their finances. Because again, let's not kid ourselves. This money is commingled like nobody's business. No pun intended. So anyway, okay, guys, have a wonderful day. I probably won't be on tonight, and then we have a busy family weekend, so I will likely see you guys next week at the soonest. So unless anything else comes on that I want to talk about, but we'll see how that works. Get a library card. I forgot to say that last night. Get a library card. Thank you, guys. Have a good one. Talk to you later. Bye. I had to learn how to click that button. Get a library card.